Hello there and welcome. In this video I got 5 reasons for you why Conquest Dark is a very cool game that manages to stand out in the sea of survivor-like games and does its own thing while staying true to the motto, let's kill some and have some fun. So I want to introduce here to you the parts why I think that this game has a lot of future for itself going on and why I really have enjoyed my hours so far that I spent with it. So first up, number one I want to talk about is that this game offers you a lot of tactical build crafting while staying pretty true to a classical game formula. So you choose your character class at the beginning. Each character class has different traits and advantages. They have proficiencies that allow you to equip different weapons and skills, and you get to select from currently 5 different classes. I think there's a lot more to come since this is an early access, but generally we pick a class, then we get to select an origin, which allows us to unlock a couple of other proficiencies and or some other stats. This is interesting as it allows us sort of like cross-classing into different branches and enables you to, for example, play Paladin with a smidge of magic or ranger skills. It's pretty fun and it functions and serves a pretty nice function in spicing up your builds in various different ways. Doesn't stop there. When we start out, we pick up a basic weapon. That basic weapon generates energy for us. That energy then gets converted into active skills. These active skills basically get activated whenever you have earned enough energy, and these pretty much make up the biggest part of your DPS. After the active skill, you get a passive skill, a skill which allows you to permanently do something with it. It's auras for paladins, for example, but there's many other things that you can get there. Their advantage is that they don't take up any energy. Their disadvantage is that they really do much less damage than the active skills. As you see here already, my basic attack is really not much to write home about. It's just there to enable our active skills. Once the active skill is activated exactly, is in game, we also get another movement skill, which will change then the way we dash and the things that happen when we dash. So this makes up then our build, which then gets fused with class masteries. These change what how our skills interact. For example, here if we have a projectile build, radiance is really good. If we want to focus on burning damage, this is really good. If we want to play a melee build, that is good on blocking. All of these options are always very well tailored and suited for many builds, and so far I have really found always a different option for what I've been currently playing and a different idea how I could have been doing that. You also have here, as you see there, a ×9 sign behind my health bar because I was playing foolish. You have several health bars. You heard that scream of pain? That's been me losing a health bar. Whenever that happens, your character starts bleeding, and you can't die from that bleeding, but you get way more and more vulnerable against enemy attacks. There's also healing, so your character is pretty robust. You are allowed to do mistakes in that way, and there's even character classes like the Barbarian which thrive upon losing health bars. Which brings me directly to number 2. This game has very different character classes, and even inside one character class, you have very different ways of playing the same character class over and over again, which is pretty cool and a good achievement. I really like that. So for example, as you see here, the Paladin excels at either being a really good melee combatant or mage, or something in between. The Barbarian is a good fighter, and like I said, is really good at fighting while wounded, so you have that kind of high risk, high reward gameplay going on that guy. The Ranger and the Thief have dodging as a big basic mechanic, which means they just take no damage when they get hit, but it is a recharging thing, so you have to be careful around that. So altogether, each and every character class that you pick has its own mechanic, which makes it unique and a really different gameplay experience, which I deeply enjoy. So far, I really have my fun with all of the character classes. I think some of them are more powerful than others, but I mean, it's an early access, and it's show me one game that doesn't have that problematic even when it's fully released. So, number 3 I want to talk about here is that this game has a very, very respectful time pace. I really enjoyed this a ton because many games in this genre tend to be time sinks, big time. I don't mind that this game is, at the end of the day, the same kind of time sink that the other roguelikes that I've been playing before are as well, but this one just chunks up the game in smaller portions. A level lasts 10 to 15 minutes or such, depending on your build, sometimes longer or shorter, but altogether this means that you have way less investment of time when you're just playing one game for coffee break or just to unwind yourself between doing new content videos or something like that. I would never procrastinate with games like these, nah. But that's a completely different topic, and jokes aside, this game really, really does a great job when it comes down to respecting your time and giving you the option to portion it for either long sessions, short sessions. There's a really good amount of things in between happening and possible here. So, number 4, I want to talk about the progression system and why I really, really like this part as well. So, just like in all similar games of this genre, we gain currencies that we can expend for permanent bonuses. For one, the permanent bonuses in this game are more like incremental increases. You invest this red goo that you collect from the enemies, which brings you to very cheap upgrades at the beginning, but these really grow very costly very quickly. The increases per level remain low per level, just the costs increase like crazy. What I'm trying to get down to here is, while you can gain base stats passively, most of them are really not on a point where you feel it until you have invested a lot of points there. The levels here, each and every one you beat through its tiers, unlock new options and new gear for your characters, so you get to start with a pretty bare bones equipment and you go deeper and deeper the more you game it. I enjoyed that a lot. I could have been okay without it, though. Give me all the tools from the beginning. I don't need these shenanigans, but I get it. That's expected in games like these. But what I really enjoy is that you get a passive bonus for all character classes when you play specific characters. So the thieves give you a rare item bonus. The barbarians give you primal damage, that's base weapon damage. And each and every faction that you play character classes for give you bonuses, which is a fun reason to play up these guys. But altogether, the progression is more skill-based and less meta currency based. There is also the option to upgrade your skills in the Stygian Archive, where you can upgrade each skill 10 times. Each upgrade brings 5% ability damage, so at the end of the road, yes, it's 50%. That's actually substantial, but it's still not at a point where I would say you cannot win the game without having your weapons all on level 10. The interesting part here is that you are allowed to slot in more runes the further you go, and these runes also get leveled by playing more. Runes, you unlock them the further you go down the road, the more runes you unlock, and these also get leveled permanently. That's an interesting system and allows you to individualize the qualities of each skill even more. Once you have the ability to slot 3 runes into one skill, you can really massively alternate how these skills work. And this game is really not so much about stopping you from having success, but more about allowing you more different builds and deeper options to get into the late game, which is a pretty cool thing because there's plenty of options to make the game harder for you and get more loot, so there's also a provocation to make it harder for you. This is really, really cool, and I like that kind of progression system. I obviously felt a little bit gated here and there, but I must say in hindsight that it was mostly me building a crappy build and less me lacking base stats, which I personally found to be a very, very exciting thing. So let's move on to number 5. This game has been freshly released in early access and it already has a lot of things going on for itself. It already has certain favorite character classes for me, certain ones where I feel like I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to be really successful with it, but it's a me problem, and I feel like some things are more overpowered than others overall, though I must say that I feel provoked to try out a lot different things. I keep unlocking constantly new things. I want to try out tons of different things, and I gotta say, this is exactly what I want to have from this type of game, and it's just freshly released. This early access has more to play than some full release games that I've been playing already. So that is a very, very positive, and I am genuinely curious to see where the developers will take this, because currently, I gotta say, I really appreciate the pacing of the game and the fact that combat feels not as mindless as it does with other games. The bosses have character, the stages have character. I have to pay attention constantly. I haven't had a brain dead moment for the most time, unless I sometimes have found a little bit of something which felt like it will not survive the balancing in the long run. But altogether, really cool game. I didn't believe that it would stand out the way it does until I tried it, so I can wholeheartedly recommend, if you like this kind of game, if you are overall enjoying ARPGs and stuff like that, this is a really good game. It's a really, really good one, and I'm very, very curious to see where the time will take this one, and I hope you enjoyed this little review from me. Leave me a like or a subscribe if you did, and feel free to check on out the rest of the stuff I do on my channel. Feel also free to check out the support options. There is a YouTube channel membership thingy I have running, and all manner of different things. I would deeply appreciate if you had a look on these. Either way, I want to say thanks to all of you who support this channel, and a big thanks especially to you for watching this video up until the very end. It means a terrible lot to me, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon.